Hello friends, welcome to my channel Learning Electronics. In this lecture, we are going to study semi-converter with inductive load, which is also called as half-controlled converter. In the last lecture, we have discussed semiconductor with inductive load in the symmetrical configuration. In this lecture, we will discuss the semi-converter in asymmetrical configuration. So this is the circuit diagram of asymmetrical configuration of semi-converter with inductive load. So before starting the video, please subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon so that you can get more updated videos from here. As we have discussed in the last lecture that semi-converter has two configurations, that is symmetrical configuration and another one is asymmetrical configuration. So this is the circuit diagram of asymmetrical configuration, and in the last class I have told you that in asymmetrical configuration the freewheeling process occurs through this diode D1 and D2, whereas in the symmetrical configuration freewheeling occurs through a pair of thyristor and a diode. So in this lecture we are going to discuss asymmetrical configuration. Asymmetrical configurations has again four modes of operation like symmetrical configuration, that is mode number 1, mode number 2, mode number 3 and mode number 4. Again in this asymmetrical configuration also in the mode number 2 and mode number 4 freewheeling process occurs. So while understanding the operation of this asymmetrical configuration, we have considered the load to be highly inductive. Therefore, the load current is assumed to be continuous and ripple free. Now we will understand the first mode of operation. This first mode of operation is understood during the positive half cycle of the AC input signal. So during the positive half cycle of the AC input signal, this A point of AC mains becomes positive and this P point becomes negative, due to which this positive will go to the P side of this S1 SCR. So this S1 SCR will go into the forward bias condition. This positive will go to this S2 SCR. Therefore this S2 SCR will go into the reverse bias condition and eventually it goes to turn off condition, and this negative polarity will go to the P side of this D2 diode. So this D2 diode will go into the reverse bias condition, but when this negative polarity will go to the N side of this D1 diode, then it will go into the forward bias condition and it will start conducting. As we have studied before, at firing angle, that is at omega t is equal to alpha, the gate pulse is given to the SCR1. So at omega t is equal to alpha, the S1 starts conducting. So at omega t is equal to alpha, S1 becomes on. Now the circuit will look like this. After eliminating this SCR2 and diode D2, we will get this type of circuit. So here we can see that load current will flow in the clockwise direction like this. So in this circuit, the load current will be equal to source current, or the source current will be equal to load current in this circuit. The polarity of the output voltage will be plus on the X point and minus on the Y point. So since here we can see that the load current and load voltage are of same polarity, therefore this inductor will start storing the energy. So this mode is called as energy storage mode, because in this mode the inductor stores energy in it. Now let us see the conditions of different devices connected in this mode. So first is S1. In this mode S1 is on, that means the voltage across this SCR will be equal to 0 and the current through this SCR will be equal to the load current IL. Now if we consider the second SCR S2, since it is off, the current through this SCR will be equal to 0 but the voltage across this SCR will be equal to VI. Here D1 is on, therefore the voltage across it will be equal to 0 when we consider this device as ideal, and the current through this device will be equal to load current. Now next is D2. D2 is off, therefore the voltage across it will be equal to VI and current will be equal to 0. Here from this figure we can see that source current is equal to IL and load current is equal to input voltage VI. Therefore whatever be the input voltage or input signal coming after this firing angle omega t is equal to alpha, it will come across the output as output signal. Next mode is mode number 2. This mode number 2 occurs from omega t is equal to pi to omega t is equal to pi plus alpha. So this mode number 2 occurs in the negative half cycle of the AC input signal from the instant omega t is equal to pi plus alpha, in which freewheeling occurs through this diode D1 and D2. So when negative half cycle of the AC input signal comes into this circuit, what happens, since this inductor is a energy storing device and in the mode number 1 it has already stored the energy. So as soon as the negative half cycle comes into this circuit, then there is a change in the current through the inductor, and this inductor has the property to oppose the change of the current through it. So to oppose the change of the current through it, it produces a self-induced EMF across it, which is given by VL is equal to L di by dt. And the polarity of the self-induced EMF will be opposite, that is this Y point will be positive and this X point will be negative. So opposite polarity self-induced EMF will be induced in this inductors to oppose the change of current through it. And due to this negative half cycle, the A terminal of the AC mains will be negative and B terminal of the AC mains will be positive. So this negative will go to the P side of the S1. Therefore, this S1 will go into the reverse bias condition and this negative will also go to the N side of this SCR2. So this SCR2 will be in the forward bias condition. This cannot conduct until and unless a triggering pulse is applied at the gate terminal of this S2. That means even if this thyristor is in the forward bias condition, it will not conduct current. Okay. So now this positive of the AC mains will go to this N side of this diode D1 and this positive will go to the P side of this diode D2. Now because of this positive at the N side of this diode D1, this diode D1 tries to turn off, but because of the stored energy in the inductor, this P side of this D1 becomes positive, therefore it goes into forward bias and start conducting. Since this P side of the diode D2 is positive, therefore D2 will also starts conducting because it is in the forward bias condition. Now what happens to the SCR2? SCR2 is in the forward bias condition, but it will not conduct until and unless a trigger pulse is applied to the gate terminal of this SCR. Therefore, the voltage across this SCR is considered very low, that is approximately equal to 0, and current is also taken as 0 here. In this SCR1, it is in the reverse bias condition, so because of the line commutation or natural commutation, it will go into the off condition. So this whole leg on which this thyristors S1 and S2 is connected will be non-working, therefore this AC supply mains will be disconnected from this load circuit. Okay, so now we will get this type of circuit. Here we can see that the AC mains is disconnected from the load circuit, in which we have two diodes conducting, that is D1 and D2. So here only two diodes will conduct, D1 and D2, and because of the stored energy in the inductor, this point is positive and this point is negative, the current will flow in the clockwise direction in this circuit. That means the current which was flowing in the mode 1, the same direction of current will be flowing in the mode number 2 also. That means this inductor will maintain the current in the same direction as before in the mode number 1 we have seen. So this is the load current, but here this diode D1 and D2 are forward biased, that means they will act as short circuit, therefore the short will come across the load, therefore the load voltage will be 0 in this case. Since input AC mains is disconnected from this load circuit, therefore the source current will be 0 in this condition. So in this diagram we can see that the load current is circulating inside this loop and it is in the form of a wheel, therefore we can say that this process is called as freewheeling. Now we will see the conditions of voltage and currents of different devices connected in this semiconductor in asymmetrical configuration. So first we will take S1 thyristor or S1 SCR. So S1 thyristor is in the off condition because it is in the reverse bias condition. So what will be the current through it? ISCR1 will be equal to 0 and the voltage across this device will be equal to the input voltage Vi, because it is in the off condition, so it will act as open circuit. Now we will come to the SCR2. SCR2 is forward bias, therefore the VSCR2, that means voltage across this thyristor, will be taken as very small, that is approximately equal to 0, and because it is not in conducting mode, as we have not triggered this thyristor, therefore the ISCR2, the current flowing through it, will be taken as 0 only. Now in this condition, diode D1 will conduct, therefore the voltage across this diode D1, VD1 will be equal to 0, and what will be the current? ID1 will be equal to load current. D2 is also conducting, so the voltage across this device will be equal to 0, and the current through this device will be equal to load current. Since the AC main circuit is disconnected from this load circuit, the AC mains current, that is source current Is, will be equal to 0. Next mode is mode number 3. This mode number 3 also occurs in the negative half cycle of the AC input signal after the instant pi plus alpha. So after the instant pi plus alpha, what happens? A triggering pulse is given to this SCR2. So when triggering pulse is given to the SCR2, is already in the forward bias condition, as we have discussed in the mode number 2, but when we give a triggering pulse to this SCR2 at instant pi plus alpha, it goes into the on condition. So at the instant pi plus alpha, it goes into the on condition. Since the negative half cycle is provided to this circuit, this positive will go here, that means the P side of the diode D2 will be positive, N side of the diode D1 will be positive. So this diode D1 goes into the off condition because the energy stored in the device already dissipated through D1 and D2 in the mode number 2. Therefore this D1 goes into the off condition due to this reverse bias voltage, and due to the forward bias voltage across the D2, it goes into the on condition. So in the negative half cycle, this negative polarity will come at the P side of this S1 SCR. So this SCR will be in the off condition. So S1 will be off and D1 will be off in this case. So when we disconnect these both devices from the circuit will look like this. When we see the direction of the load current, it will be in the same direction as before, that is, it is in the clockwise direction. Okay, so here we can see that the load voltage will be positive at the X point and negative at the Y point. So this load current is also entering at this X point and leaving at this Y point. That means the polarity of the load current, load voltage is same. So in this mode, this inductor again starts storing the energy in this mode. Now we will see the conditions of voltage and current of these devices connected here. So first we will take S1 SCR. So since it is off, the current through it, ISCR1 will be equal to 0, and voltage across it, VSCR1, will be equal to input voltage Vi. Now comes the SCR2. SCR2 is on, that means the voltage across this device will be equal to 0, and the current through this device will be equal to load current IL. Now we will take D1 diode. D1 diode is off, that means the current through this device will be 0, and voltage across device will be equal to Vi. Now we will take D2 diode. D2 diode is on, that means the voltage across this device VD2 will be equal to 0, and current is ID2, which is equal to load current IL. Now here we can see that the load current will flow like this and come like this. This is load current. That means here the source current will be minus of IL. So the source current will be equal to minus of load current. And what is the load voltage? Because the polarity of the load voltage is same as in the mode number 1, therefore the load voltage will be equal to input voltage here. Next mode is mode number 4. In the mode number 4, again freewheeling occurs through diode D1 and D2. So in this mode, the omega t ranges from omega t is equal to 2 pi to 2 pi plus alpha. That means the mode 4 is studied in the positive half cycle of the AC input signal. So when the positive half cycle of the AC signal comes into this circuit, this A point of the AC mains becomes positive and this B point become negative. Okay, so because of this A point will transfer to the P side of this S1, that means this SCR S1 becomes forward bias, and this positive polarity will go to the N side of this SCR2. This SCR2 will go into the reverse bias condition and eventually go to the off condition here. Now coming to this negative polarity will go to the P side of this diode D2. So this diode D2 tries to turn off, and this negative polarity when go to this diode D1, it goes into the forward bias condition and eventually it goes to the on condition. As we have studied in the mode number 3, this inductor has the capacity to store the energy, therefore stored the energy in the form of self-induced EMF. The polarity of the self-induced EMF will be, this Y point will be positive and this X point will be negative. This negative will come here, and due to this diode D2 will remain in the conducting mode. This diode D2 will not go to the off condition. This diode will continues to conduct as before in the mode number 3. So in this condition, two diodes D1 and D2 will conduct. This D2 is conducting due to stored energy in the inductor, and S1 is already in the forward bias condition and S2 is in the reverse bias condition. But this S1 we will consider in the off condition, because until and unless we apply a trigger pulse to the gate of this SCR1, this device cannot turn on. But it is in the forward bias condition, that means the voltage across this SCR will be very small, that is we are here taking approximately equal to 0, but it is not conducting the current because we are not applying the gate signal here. So now in this condition, only diode D1 and D2 will conduct, and this AC main circuit will be disconnected from the load circuit. Therefore the source current will be equal to 0. Here this self-induced EMF will maintain the current in the same direction as before, that means the load current will be flowing in the clockwise direction only, as before it was flowing in the mode number 3. So this load current will flow until this inductor is discharged through this diodes D1 and D2, and since this diode D1 and D2 is acting as short circuit, this short will come across this load, therefore the load voltage will be equal to 0 in this mode of operation. Okay, so as the current is circulating inside this loop, this process is called as freewheeling process. So load voltage will be equal to 0, source current will also be equal to 0. Now we will see the conditions of voltage and currents of different devices connected in the circuit. First we will see the S1 SCR. S1 SCR is in forward bias condition, so the voltage across this SCR is approximately equal to 0 we are taking. Now since we are not applying gate pulse to this device, so it is not conducting any current, that means the SCR current of this S1 SCR will also be equal to 0 we are taking. Okay. Now we will take the SCR2. SCR2 is in the reverse bias condition, that means the voltage across this SCR2 will be equal to the input voltage, and since it is off condition, the current through this SCR2 will be equal to 0. Now we will come to the diode D1. Diode D1 and diode D2 is conducting mode, therefore the current through these diodes will be equal to the load current. So the currents ID1 and ID2 is equal to IL because they are connected in series. So same current will flow through these diodes. Now what will be the voltage? Since they are conducting mode, so the voltage across them will be taken equal to 0 in the ideal condition. So now we will use all these data of mode number 1, 2, 3 and 4 to draw the output waveforms of the semi-converter of asymmetrical configuration with load inductance. Now we will draw the output waveforms of the asymmetrical configuration of semi-converter with inductive load. So this is the sinusoidal waveform, which is the input AC signal. It is represented by Vi. So when the gate pulse is given at instant omega t is equal to alpha, the SCR1 goes into the on condition. And in the previous lecture we have considered the load current to be ripple free and continuous. Here also we are considering the load current to be ripple free and continuous. So this load current is represented by a horizontal line with some amplitude. Now first we will consider the mode number 1. This is the mode number 1 which goes from omega t is equal to alpha to omega t is equal to pi. From omega t is equal to alpha to omega t is equal to pi. What will be the source current? Source current is equal to load current. So we will take one line of this magnitude only. What will be the SCR current? SCR current will also be equal to the load current because it is conducting in this mode. So mode number 1 S1 is on and D1 is also on. What will be the SCR2 current? It is not conducting, therefore between these instances omega t is equal to alpha to omega t is equal to pi, the SCR2 current will be equal to 0. Now in the mode number 1 we will see the diode D1 current. Diode D1 is in the conducting mode, therefore the current through this device will be equal to the load current between these two instances, and the diode D2 is not conducting, therefore the current through this device will be equal to 0. In the mode number 1, what will be the load voltage? Load voltage will be equal to the input voltage, and the SCR1 is conducting in this mode, so across this device the voltage will be equal to 0. But this SCR2 is not conducting in this mode, therefore the voltage across this SCR will be equal to Vi here. Now we will take the mode number 2. Mode number 2 goes from omega t is equal to pi to omega t is equal to pi plus alpha. So between these instances the negative half cycle comes into the circuit. So what happens? The source is disconnected from the load, therefore the source current will become 0 here, and SCR1 will go into the off condition, therefore SCR current will also be equal to 0. And since the SCR2 is not working here, SCR2 current will also be taken as 0. Now we will take the diode current. Since mode number 2 is a freewheeling mode, so diode D1 and diode D2 current will flow and it will be equal to the load current, as you can see here. Now we will see the voltage waveforms. In the mode number 2, the load voltage is 0 because of the short circuit across the load. So here the load voltage is 0. And SCR2 voltage is also taken as 0 because in this mode it is not working, and SCR1 voltage will be equal to the input voltage Vi in this condition because it goes into the reverse bias condition in this mode. Next mode is mode number 3. The mode number 3 goes from omega t is equal to pi plus alpha to omega t is equal to 2 pi. So at omega t is equal to pi plus alpha, a triggering pulse is given to the SCR2. Okay, so when triggering pulse is given to the SCR2, the SCR2 goes into the on condition. So in this mode SCR2 will be in the on condition, and in the mode number 2 D1 and D2 is on. So S2 will be on and D2 diode will be on in this mode number 3. Now we will see the source current. The source current will be minus of load current in this condition, as we have seen in the mode 3. Now the SCR1 is in the off condition, therefore current through this device will be equal to 0 in this mode, and SCR2 is conducting, therefore the SCR2 current will be equal to the load current in this mode. Now we will see the diode currents. Diode D1 is not conducting, therefore the current through this device will be equal to 0, but the diode D2 is conducting in this mode, therefore the diode D2 current will be equal to the load current. Now we will see the voltage waveforms. Between this instant pi plus alpha to 2 pi, the load voltage is equal to the input voltage Vi. So whatever be the input waveform, it will come in at the output as waveform. But now when we talk about the SCR2 voltage will be equal to 0 because it is conducting in this mode. And what will be the SCR1 voltage? It will be equal to Vi because it is not conducting in this mode. Last mode is mode number 4. Mode number 4 goes from omega t is equal to 2 pi to omega t is equal to 2 pi plus alpha before the next triggering pulse is given to the SCR1. In this mode of operation, what happens again? This is a freewheeling mode, so diode D1 and D2 will be on in this condition. Rest of the devices will be not working. So the source current will be equal to again 0 because the source is disconnected from the load here. And what will be the SCR1 current? It will be equal to 0 here, and the SCR2 current will also be equal to 0. The diode currents, the diode D1 and D2 is conducting, therefore in this mode the diode D1 and D2 current will be equal to the load current. The load voltage will be equal to 0 in this condition because it is a freewheeling mode, and SCR2 voltage will be considered 0 because it is not working in this mode, and SCR1 voltage will be equal to the VI voltage because it is in the off condition. So hope you have understood the topic. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe my channel for more updates.